storytelling.
Yeah.
Storytelling is one of those things that, like, I know, especially before I really got into content, you just hear everyone talk about storytelling. And it's not even just marketers. It's like entrepreneurs. It's like, oh, Steve Jobs was an amazing storyteller. And then you'll hear like a film director, like it's all about storytelling. And then a musician. And then like everyone talks about storytelling. And I'd always be like, what's this thing? It's like one of those like overused terms that we just hear.
The invisible ghost.
Literally. That's a good way to put it. Talk to me about the importance of storytelling. Like, why is that so important when it comes to getting people to care about what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, storytelling is universally like probably the most powerful skill anyone could have. So we're going to dive, you know, like I was thinking before I came here, like, how am I going to tee up the intro? I was like, do you want me to tell you the secret about storytelling? I'll give it to you right now. That was for the
Give
intro.
me my hooks. Yeah. Editor.
So storytelling essentially is a bucket of things, but it's persuasion, it's psychology. It's really getting someone to care and keep caring about the thing you're saying, right? Through anything. You can storytell through music. It's like, do you want to keep listening to the song? Storytell through books. Do you want to keep reading? Storytell through video. Do you want to keep watching? It's just, storytelling is like the magnetism that keeps people holding on to hear more, see more, view more. And so the problem with something like storytelling is it's this kind of like opaque term. It's like, how do you actually break it down? And I actually think what I'm best at, my sauce is I'm pretty good at breaking things down into like the atomic unit.
Very good.
And explaining how to piece them apart. So my philosophy on storytelling, I mean, there's several pieces that I think we should break down, but the nuts and bolts for content specifically is there's literally a few things. The first thing is, depending on the surface, depending on the format, you have to compress the speed to value quicker. So that's like a universal tenet of storytelling. Christopher Nolan, when he makes a movie, doesn't have to compress the speed to value because he knows you're in the theater for 2.5 hours. So he can afford to like meander through the first 20 minutes. He's got you captured. But in real content world, there is no movie theater constraint where you have somebody captured. They didn't pay to come. So you have to compress that value, the payoff, like what they're actually there for, as early as possible. Give them a hit of that so that they, and then you use a lot of like specific techniques to re-hook them. You hook them, give them value as soon as possible, re-hook them throughout, trickle in more value. That's kind of that's roughly the structure for how you hold people with content. So one thing is speed to value. The second thing though, and this is really the universal tenet of storytelling, and I've never seen this anywhere. So I'm sure most of these ideas that I have, like I think they're original because I haven't seen anyone say them, but I'm sure somebody has come up with this before. But like hand to God, I've never heard anyone say this. The key to storytelling is contrast. I'll die on this hill. Contrast is the difference between A and B, right? So a common example is like, is Prince Charming fighting a dragon interesting? It's kind of interesting, but what would make it more interesting is Prince Charming walking through the forest, chilling, and then out of nowhere, the dragon comes and they start fighting. The difference between walking with no dragon and dragon, that distance is contrast. Creating the contrast is what creates intrigue because it changes the state from A to B. So if you actually like watch and listen to good storytellers and you have this frame, the way they do it often is they'll say, this thing is really interesting, but actually this thing is where all the attention really is. That but actually is a word to create contrast. It's A then B. It switches your attention. The way to do this in content, and I'm like jumping all over the place, but we can get into this. The way to do this in content is kind of understanding the baseline expectation that someone has about the topic you're talking about, getting them to lean into what they already believe, and then contrasting to something else that you believe. That's that solution pain point thing I talked about. So a tactical example, and then I'll stop, is basically like, let's say I was trying to teach an entrepreneur how to make videos or grow on YouTube. And the baseline expectation is like, it's really hard, it takes forever, you know, like that's what most people believe. So if I was trying to hook them with a better story, I would start by reiterating what they believe to like give them that confirmation. So I would say, you know, the truth is everybody says growing on YouTube takes forever and is like really hard to do. And they're like, yeah, that is what everyone says. Like they start agreeing. And then you're like, but actually, if you do these 5 things, it's way easier and saves half the time. What I've done is I've teased the fact that I have a contrarian or contrasting solution against the baseline expectation. Everybody watching that right now wants to know what those 5 things are. Just me saying that. And that's because I've created distance between what you believe and then what I know to be true.
Okay, so if you enjoyed this episode, you're gonna absolutely love what we did with this one right here. Click here.